Sent to the future from the year 2000 by a glitch due to the Millennium Bug, I'm adapting to thrive in the peculiar conditions of the 2020s. Join me in a multimedia extravaganza as we surf the World Wide Web, catch up on 2 decades of video games and mess around with creative tools new and old. I'm Millennium Cyborg. Welcome to the new millennium. Alright. So first of all, the current BGM is one of my favourite radios, CineSat Radio. I hemmed and hawed for a long time about whether it was okay to actually put on stream. I think the answer is yes. All of the tracks are available for free, and you know, I don't think they would end up in any DMCA database, but consider this a test. And second of all, yeah, I'm doing more Bryce. I've been putting it off because I don't know if it makes a great creative stream to watch me fail around, but I certainly enjoy it and I want to get more done, so let's give it a go. I've been studying up a little on Bryce, reading some old books, and I also have a new bit of reference material. So this was when I was doing my VRML stream. I saw this in the background of one of the VRML worlds, and thanks to Flashpoint I was able to just go into the resource folder for that world and find the texture. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I got the right file. This is just the 256 by 256 highly compressed JPEG that was the texture in that world. I thought, okay, first of all, let's try upscaling it. And I put it through, Waifu 2X and a few similar things. The results are not great. So I think as a reference image, we'll actually use this tiny JPEG. I really like the style of this city. Actually, this, compared to what was in the world, this is mirrored. I don't know if I can easily mirror this one image. Either way, I mean, it's just for inspiration. I'm not going to be directly copying it, but there are several features I like here. First of all, the general scene, the feel of it, the waves, the blue haze, the night sky, and then the details of the city itself. We've got a mix of what look like fairly standard office buildings and this funky building with a floating orb above it. So I'm going to try recreating those elements in Bryce. For the materials, I think the sea and the sky shouldn't be too much of an issue. There's some interesting things happening here. Okay. I don't want tracks with... Okay, I'm just going to skip any tracks with lyrics because that'll distract me. Right. So the building looks like it's made of glass, and some of the others do, kind of a green glass style, and then others in the background are more dark with green office lights. So we can try a few different materials and see if we can recreate something like this. And because I've already got a bunch of scenes that are set just in the sea, because that's so easy to do in Bryce, I'm going to start with the incomplete scene I started on that I also wanted to have a city in last time. There was sort of in a cove. All right. So here's Bryce at last. Oh yeah, I was going to show as well. It's not quite perfect yet in terms of the materials, but I was able to export something from Blender into Bryce, which is quite exciting. I can imagine adding some models in the future. Yeah, the lighting's a bit half right now, but... Oh, and it'll be easier to see if I edit the sun position a bit. Let's see. I want the light to come from below, but it's not happening. Well, you can sort of see the partly transparent materials around the eyes of my model also aren't coming through here. It's actually an interesting thing. There's been a bunch of tools for rendering VRMs and doing various things to them, like physics interactions, lighting interactions, that I've tried loading my model into. And despite the fact that it renders fine in VC Face, specifically these areas, something about those materials isn't working right in those other programs. Right. So, right, this is where we left off last time on this project. And I was starting to build up the city, but I didn't have any direct references for the shape of it. And I was getting into... I wasn't having that much success with the materials. Seriously?
I am here to serve you.
I've picked a playlist somehow with vocals in every track. Let's try an older... So the SceneSat, there's a live stream, and there's also a bunch of albums on Bandcamp. I'll try a different album. That's the stuff. Alright, I want to save this camera position because it's quite good. And now... I'm going to get a bit closer. I mentioned it before, but I'm running Bryce in a virtual machine because that's the only way I can get several things working correctly. One is capture, and the other is a lot of the menus. For example, if we go into the material editor here, or there was one in particular that wasn't at all showing up. Well, the Advanced Sky Editor for a start, this one, the Skylab, only shows up in a VM. The other thing, the other difference running in a VM is that the controls are way more awkward. So it's very easy to overshoot. So I have to be a bit careful, but the, you know, having all the menus is kind of a necessity. So what I do is I edit inside the VM, and then for the final render, I run it outside the VM and get a slight boost in render speed. Especially important if I'm doing an animation. So here we should be rendering at default quality. Nothing fancy. I quite like the glass material, the glass dome at the top of the tower. I'll leave this here for now, and we can go back to it for inspiration and to look at the materials later. I'm gonna place us sort of a similar angle to what we have in the reference image. Try to get an idea of it. And actually it should be straightforward enough to create a similar environment to get us, you know, in the right sort of mood. Start with a nighttime sky. And this seems a fairly obvious choice. So the bright light at the horizon . Okay, that comes from the haze. Want more of a dark blue haze, and then we want to bring it forward a bit. These parameters are quite tricky. A small change can make a big effect, but let's see. So it's at 4 density. Maybe we need a bit of fog. Seems to be a bit all or nothing here. I can also create various types of volumes in the scene if that works better. Let's start with this. Do a full size, well, not quite full size render. Alright, and let's add in some stars. I can't see much right now. Let's do a render. Okay. I think we need to fiddle with the haze again. Don't know, I feel like we don't want it to extend too high. Let's try something more like this. That's better. Add more stars. All right. Yeah, the effect I'm getting from the haze isn't quite what I want, but I'm not sure what to fiddle with here. So in the image, the horizon is a bit below the center. The camera's tilted down a bit. Is that our camera? No, it can't be the camera. It can't be this camera. That's our camera. That's not the right direction. That's too much. I can see from the little preview in the corner. It's also the wrong direction actually. So -5. I think that's a bit closer. Kind of 2/3 split. Seems about right. Maybe a bit less. let's start with that. We want a good amount of the city in frame anyway for this. Editing the fog parameters by dragging up, down, left, right on this little square is even weirder. So if there's no base height, like what happens if we crank this up all the way and there's base height of 7, it's everything, a base height of 0, like Y. Very mysterious. There's no sun to blend with. Logically, the haze is the distance fog, and fog here is coming from below, you'd think. All I can get is either ground completely covered or nothing at all. I can see a couple of stars in the preview, so I'm trying to get to the point where they're not too obscured. How about this? Okay, we'll come back to this once we actually have some other objects in the scene that come through the haze. See how that affects those. So I've just saved this camera position. You only have one camera effectively, but you can have several saved positions. And you also have the director's camera, which is a free look, and a few fixed position ones on each axis. All right. Can we easily add some funky purple clouds? I'll just spend a few minutes on that. It might be quite straightforward. Right, except that it's using an actual atmospheric model to create, to render the clouds, which means that I can't just pick a color. I think. That if I do this, it won't affect the render color. And then that's just visualization. But what I can do is create a plane with a custom material that's like the cloud material. And there I can start affecting the colour more directly. But that won't be a matter of a minute, so... Oh, unless... Create cloud plane. Material. Maybe it is this easy. Okay, so clouds, what do we want? Nothing for it but to try a few. So in practice we want something quite sparse. And to be honest, that one in the reference image just looks like a basic sort of plasma with a threshold. That's not it. Cloud bump. These names are not very descriptive. Ooh, that looks promising. No, I don't think it's intended for cloud plane necessarily. This looks more promising, and then what we can do is, well, first of all we can decide what's the altitude going to be. On that image I can't quite decide. Let's try moving, because if we move them higher we get more of the far off scaling. If we move them lower, get the right camera. That could even be a bit lower. Oh, that's very low. Good. And now we're going to adjust the scale. Here. I'll try 100% for start. That might be too much. Oh, that's the wrong direction. It was 12.5. We'll go to, let's say, a quarter of that. Not bad, eh? I just want to scroll it a bit as well. I have no idea which direction or scale for that particular tool, but I'm just picking arbitrary numbers until I get a section of the infinite procedural texture that I like the look of. I like this one. I like this track, but it's distracting. You can actually download all of the SceneSat library, so if this all goes smoothly, I'll probably create myself a very large playlist of tracks I like. If it doesn't, I'll start experimenting with other Dover Syndrome tracks and stream beats and so on. Alright, the scene is set. I'm going to save this as Very Imaginative Cove 2. We've not messed around with the sea. I don't want to go for exactly this style here, where, I mean, it's hard to even say what exactly was in the source image. It kind of looks like it's reflecting lights from the city. I wonder what we can do. I'm going to use select all volumetric slabs. I guess the sea is one, the ocean. Well, that one's a ground plane. That one's our sky. I can just move it somewhere else. And this one's our ocean. They're infinite planes, so I can just move them around. I mean, it'll affect... Oh no. It will affect the view as seen from the camera, unless... No, because they're textured in world space, so it doesn't matter even where the actual object is in the scene. So let's go straight into the materials menu. The materials picker here. I suspect we're not getting much light coming in here. Like the moon isn't even contributing much right now. It's not it's not adding a huge amount. Is this track?
Oh no, my daughter!
So there's not much to be reflected right now except for the haze itself. All right. I want to fiddle with the ocean more, but unless I see something fairly unusual pattern, there might not be anything that's very interesting until we add the city. No, that's something. Let's add a big sphere or other shape. Why did that get added? I'll have to select the right thing. Okay, there we are. So that's... If our overall scale is correct, then I'm going to make it about the size of this entire other city. Interesting, the whole scene is slightly above the origin plane. I don't remember why I would have done that. It might be related to the issues we're having with fog. Let's position the cylinder first. We can come back to that in a bit. You can see how awkward it is to position things compared to select and position things compared to modern software. So I'm moving it a bit further away in the camera view. Maybe I can do it from here. I want to make sure it's on the surface of the water, but centered reasonably. Let's see if that worked. Yeah, just about. No. No. Just below there. Okay, I'll make it taller. Nope. Oh, this is gonna... No, that's fine, that's working. And then I'll set a material that's one of the built-in ones. This one. So that should give us a glowy city on the water. It's not the effect we're going for at the end, but this gives us an idea of the reflections that we're going to get. How about positioning? I think I want it a bit further back. I should really have picked a camera position that was lined up with world position, and that would have made things substantially easier. Okay, if I'm put into camera space and move it further away, is it now elevated as well? Beyond the point I wanted. Slightly. all my careful positioning work already gone? Nice. All right. I want to create a cool glass material. So I'm making a copy. Putting it nearby. Well, that's close enough for now. And this one, we'll give it a new material. We'll start with I kind of want to combine the glowy aspect of one of these and one of a glass, coloured glass patterned here. So we need some kind of light source. In this image, it looks as though we've got a few light sources that aren't directly visible. It's kind of like they're coming from, I'm not sure, these ones, I'm not sure what they're reflecting off, sorry, what their reflection of. Here you've got a nice effect where it looks like a ground level light is illuminating the scene. Let's start with parallel light, round parallel light. What do these different versions imply? I was going to go right for a light emitting volume, but let's see what this does. So I'm imagining an effect like street lights causing light to be cast upwards, or bouncing around and causing light to be cast upwards. You know what? That's not bad for a start. So this now gives us a good surrounding to test the material of the glass tower. I'll start by trying a few of the other presets. Bump is an interesting idea. You can't really tell in the original scene whether there would have been bumps of some kind or not. But it does give a bit of texture to it. The bumps here are too large. You know what, I'm gonna create a different camera position, although this one is good for our final render. On some of these views, X and Z are swapped and some they're not. Either that or I'm easily confused. Alright. I think this material's not bad. With the right shaping of lights, the glass aspect could work. The bumps are too organic. So if we load in the bump map from one of the city presets instead, we might need to change the scale again. I'm staring because this just looks like the old material. Am I somehow changing the material on the wrong thing? I am. What was I changing the material on exactly? Oh well. Let's try 25. That looks reasonable in the preview. All right. That's pretty good, I think. So I want two different ones. I like the idea of the large, smooth building here. And then I want to create one that's got a bit of an emissive component to look like actual building lights for the rest of it. So I'll continue adding to this one. I'll have to see if I can save the material to the library once I've made it. I'll make sure I'm editing the right one. Right, so we're going to add a new material for the ambient. I think that's how you do emission here. Gonna find one. Ideally, I'd like something that's a bit height dependent. I don't remember how you make height dependent materials. Let's start with this. Let's see how this looks. It's a bit too much. was just reading earlier today about how to altitude. Right, so we're taking the ambient color from this texture, but we're using the altitude texture to modulate how intense it is. And the spaces might not quite be right, so it might not be mapped correctly, but now we have, at the bottom we mostly have the glow from street level, and at the top we have the emission from the texture itself. It's a bit too yellow. I want something maybe cyan. Okay, well this part should be all the way white. There's not much of it. Oh, that's nice. Maybe, well, let's see it in action. That's pretty good. I want to tweak it, but I'm not sure how. I think I want more of a white component at its brightest. We're really flying through the material editing compared to last time, which is nice. I'm actually better understanding what all of these weird bits of the interface are doing. I like the sharper edges in this interpolation. I'd like something. Let's see. Okay, at this point I'm out of my depth again. However, Let's see if I can do a fine tune by holding something. I'm not sure any of these are particularly fine. So what I'm hoping to achieve, I guess I'll pick initially this color a bit less saturated. That'll help me. I'm trying to get a few more areas of actual pure white. You know, I might as well pick something different here. I see. So this is how you get orientation, slope and altitude dependent effects. Well, that's quite cool, but okay, so it looks like the wave, I don't know how well this is coming through the compression, the dots are very small, but it looks like it folds the wave of the filter if we hit one of the top or bottom limits, maybe. Filter none. I see. Okay, okay. I understand a little better. Let's try that. It doesn't quite look right on the glass. I'm just changing this to make sure that the ramp here is straightforward and that we're not getting weird effects because of the RGB in the first texture. I don't know if it's an actual issue. Interesting. It's time to change this to object space. Right? Probably. Parametric scaled object space. Let's try it. So I want the top of the altitude gradient to be at the top of the object rather than some arbitrary point in the world. I think that's what I'm doing. But there's two layers to this because I'm thinking about how that gradient texture is mapped onto the object and then how that applies. But I think we've got it here. And so the last thing I want to do actually is to stretch this texture specifically along this axis. We'll see if that was what I wanted to do. No. Although, I mean, that's a look as well. Doesn't look right. That's not it. There we go. And now to give us a tiny bit more control over the altitude effect, I'm going to make it a three-point interpolation I mean, it's not super clear to me how this, how the filter part works. I mean, I could think about it, but it wouldn't be intuitive. What I'll do instead is I'm creating a center part to the gradient, and that'll help me control that's still not quite it. How do I edit? How do I edit the value and the bump?
Spaceship.
Randomize, reset. These parts are just extra components. Interesting. I can do this for now, but I don't, okay, so I don't think actually I'm affecting the right thing. I am editing the correct material. I'm editing the right material, but it's that second component, the value component, I need to modify. Don't know what those buttons do either. Output type, bump map, alpha channel, color.
It's a bunch of notes from an electronic hunk of metal.
I'm going to start fiddling with things. Just try to understand this. So, Techno City, right? We've got 3 different output channels. We've got color, value, bump. Over here, this material outputs to color and alpha. And this one, color and bump. These filters, when I pick them, the first one highlights component 1. The second one, component 2. The third one shows nothing. And the fourth one, the combination. And the same thing is in the noise and phase. My theory here is that the all three of the textures are the CAB. For example, if I untick bump map here, then right, we don't see a bump map here. So if we go back to here, where is the value coming from? We don't actually want to output bump map. And if we do output alpha channel, is it just because of the altitude? Somehow. It's alpha 100%. Well, I don't actually know how to change that. If that's the case though, we should be able to affect it using these parameters that I didn't want to touch. Filter orientation, okay, well. A times altitude plus B. We want a more abrupt change, so we want the altitude multiplier to be larger. And then we can use this to control the height. So I'll make it more negative. Well, that's a good test, -10. We get nothing at all. Could I please type something in instead? No, guess not. Let's try -5. Roughly. Still nothing. -2.5. Minus about 1. That's getting somewhere. I want to continue. Make it tighter and bring it back up. Let's try -2. That's what I wanted to see. So if we go back to the reference image, you see we've got some of these parts in altitude with not much illumination from the ground, but with their own horizontal line. So that's what we've kind of recreated here. And we've also got an idea of how to modify the material further to tweak that effect in future. So that's good progress. I think I'm not going to go too much longer, but I'll switch over to BRB for a bit, and I'll be back quickly, and then we'll try throwing down a few different shapes and applying this material to them. BRB doesn't work unless I'm focused on the right thing. Here we go. And we're back. Let's save our material to the material library. We've got the right one selected. That's looking quite cool, I think. I want to go back and tweak the ocean, actually. Now that we're here, let's start from the library. We want something quite shiny and a bit wavy. I really like the effect in the water. I'm not so sure about the, you know, the way that the haze reflects. Doesn't look right to me. I think we want less haze, more fog. I want to try fixing. I'll make a proper save first of all. I want to try fixing the issue where we have everything floating above what should be the ground plane. Which I cannot select for some reason. This one, that's our ground plane, right? We should be able to get rid of it without any effect on what? What am I affecting actually? Is it a haze layer? Or are we just seeing... okay, let's see. It's selected, it's at the origin, and it's just a plain grey material. It's just the default plane that added to the world, but somehow I guess it gives something beneath the water. Okay, well, if I like the way it looks, I can just move it. I don't know what, it's invisible now. At minus 0.1 we should be good. So I've dropped that terrain. I'm dropping this volume. Interesting that this acts as a solid object for the purposes of dropping things. I think there is a way to align a bunch of objects. That looks right. Okay. And now the ocean, if I can select it. We'll give it a height of 1. And now our camera. No, I want to select the camera itself. I'm seeing a few. I'm going to skip. And lower the volume a tiny bit. Okay. There are a few diagonal patterns in the material actually that I'm not sure the origin of. Are they reflections or... This looks good overall, and now I want to experiment once again with the sky and fog. For example, oh, you know what? The other thing I hadn't considered. Right, here we are. Actually, the fog coming in completely is because of the fact that there was no ground in the scene. So it was rendering at an infinite distance. Intriguing. So we have to wait a bit for it to update. With no haze at all, the sky is a bit too clear. We'll add in a tiny bit of haze. And we've probably got too much fog here, but this is going in a good direction. I'm still not sure what I want the base height to be. I mean, the answer might be 0. The answer is not 0. So that gives us almost no fog. So this, whatever this is doing, it's not going above the horizon. What if we said something like 10? And then, so the thickness... Oh, interesting. The thickness does affect things above the horizon at some point. It might be also related to the camera position. I'm not sure. So if we fix... What did we say? We said 10 for the base height. On the theory that I wanted to end just kind of above the city, the eventual whole city. And then if we fiddle with the density, so logically higher density... Less density. Maybe I want a very high density but less thickness. Unless this is unless this is literally a volumetric thing. Literally the bottom and top of the volumetric effect itself, the region. That preview image is looking really interesting. But it's more of an effect than I anticipated. Okay. I still want... Like, I'm worried about the horizon. I'll try adding a bit of haze. So haze is atmospheric haze. Again, the base height thing here, I don't know... I don't really understand how it's affecting things. I think I do want quite low density. I want something that's hugging the horizon. And I want it to look like there is a bit of fog on the waters. So that's way too much, but that's the sort of thing. I fiddled with this for a very long time. With the current background image, actually. I was trying to go for a similar effect. Maybe I can look up what I did there. So we've got 28, 25, 25, 15, 20, 100. Interesting. I can only hold 3 numbers in my head, apparently. $15, $20, $100. That's way too dense, but it's the relative density seems good. I think that's pretty good. That's good around the horizon. Alright, this is something I can fiddle with endlessly in my own time. But I like how we've currently got the transition from the ocean to the horizon to the clouds to the stars. Let's add a pyramid. Alright, those are scaling handles. That's rotation. I actually want to skew this, but I doubt I'll be given the option right, align, edit. This one's not really editable. There are Boolean operations. You know, I can always model something in Blender. That would be easiest if I want to really create that same shape. For now, in fact I probably will do that, but for now I will duplicate this. Or do I want to replicate? Right, I don't know how replicate works. Let's assign it the right material first. And I did say I wanted a slightly different glass material for this, but we'll do that later. Object, edit, duplicate. I'm going to try and use these, be a little exact, and then duplicate both. Looking good. So now back in top view, we're going to create a sphere. Scale it down. Assign its material. Move it up a bit. I'm going to scale this as well. Interesting, all of these need to be grounded. It's funny, I'm not sure what they're counting as ground there. Maybe the ocean? Align, ground. I didn't mention it earlier, but I did notice this, the light that I picked, I'll let it render before I switch tool because I think any click will interrupt it. But whatever light I picked, it doesn't seem to be casting a uniform light, but rather a volume of spotlights or something, which actually for the effect I want is very suitable. It's just not very intentional. The altitude scaling is working quite nicely on the texture. It's only the emission or ambient component that's affected there. We might need to take another look at how the other components of the texture are scaled and mapped. But actually for that the best option might be to finish the city and group it all into a single object, and then we'll be better be able to control the scaling relative to the object rather than leaving it all in world coordinates, because that in world coordinates will change if we move the object around and so on. I'd usually stop here. I just want to do one more thing. It's not super clear from this image, but I think that some of these buildings have a sloped top, like a cut. Honestly, I'm really happy with how this is turning out so far. So I'll take one of these cylinders and try applying a Boolean modifier. So we're going to create a cube. It's a very large cube. I greatly appreciate the fact that the zoom in and out on the interface are centered on the selected object, because without that it would be very difficult to navigate this already sometimes quite awkward interface. So I'm just making it roughly the right size for convenience. The important thing is let's do it to this one. So we're going to rotate it. Let's see if I can use the in interface. Oh, that's I'm going to give it a bit of a tilt towards the camera. Scale it up a bit again so we get a full coverage of the object. Right, and now let's hope I actually remember how to do this. Right, I want to group them, and then, no, first I want to make this a negative Boolean, and now I think I want to group them. Let's see how that looks. That's not what I expected. It's negative, but it's still rendering. Hidden and negative. I still can't tell if it worked. You know what? I'm going to rotate the whole thing so it's more clearly visible. In fact, they're not grouped anymore, but it's still working, I think. It's not working. Right, the other one is neutral. It needs to be positive. And then we group them. Something's happening. Are those metaball parameters rather than ungroup? Intersect. I'm so close. I think this is an example. No, this is a mesh. That won't do. It says negative boolean, so I think it's a boolean rather than... So if I do this, but I don't make that one hidden... I mean, if it's not hidden, then it turns up. Inevitably, if we group them, there we are. Alright, that was don't hide any of them, and one of them has to be positive, one of them has to be negative, and then they have to be grouped. Well, I'm chuffed a bit, as a YouTuber I enjoy likes to say. There's lots of little things I want to tweak here, and obviously the city itself isn't finished, but I feel that I've solved all of the issues in terms of recreating that source image, and I'm confident that we're going to have a really cool high resolution version by the end of this. So I'll finish this off stream. How many backgrounds do we have now? My goal initially was 5, and we've got this will be the 4th, I think. And I don't have a concept yet for the last one, although I've been doing a lot in Bryce. One thought I had for the last one would be some kind of wormhole. And I'm not sure Bryce is the best choice for that. But I could dig up another ancient renderer I used to use, TrueSpace. Because I did used to mess around with creating wormhole type things in TrueSpace. So I know it's possible. Alternatively, Blender can do it, but Blender looks too shiny and new. I want some kind of wormhole that could animate... twisting and turning in a way that I don't know if I could do it in Bryce. But maybe... So an animated mesh would be out of the question. It's getting really slow at rendering here. It's really taking its time for the bottom quarter of the image. Maybe if I just modeled a wormhole style tube in Blender and imported it, and then just did a lot of camera tricks and texture scrolling, maybe that would work. That's something to think about. Alright. I won't make you wait for this to finish rendering. In any case, what I'm going to do right away is move it across to my actual desktop and do a 1080p render. And that should take less time. But this has been good. Starting from this super grainy image, I think we're doing pretty well. Yeah, I can increase the effect of the lighting from the bottom, definitely. Something else to experiment with. All right, I enjoyed that. Quiet evening with Bryce. Oh yeah, housekeeping. Normally I do my... Well, I say normally. I've only done a few of these at the end of the stream, really. But the next Zone of the Ender stream will have to be on Thursday. So I'll post about that on Twitter soon enough. And on Mondays... Well, I guess as always, I'll see how I feel. But I do want to keep pushing the asset development side of things. And in the background, I'm also training myself on various aspects of Blender modeling. And I want to eventually give myself new trousers. My default trousers and shoes are... I'm a bit tired of them. I've got plans for nicer ones. Yeah. With that said, it's time for me to go. And if you, like me, have caught the Millennium Bug, Make sure to watch the next stream, or find me elsewhere on the World Wide Web by clicking on the links below the video. I've been Millennium Cyborg, keep that future vibe, and I'll see you in the world of tomorrow.